Hello, this is Timothy Dolan, doing one of my intermittent commentaries, and today I wanted to call it Sound Off on it's actually a recent BBC4 program. It comes as a podcast. It's called In Our Time, and one of the subjects of the recent subject was on Hannah Arendt, who may be best known as the coiner of the phrase banality of evil. First, I do want to plug In Our Time. It's a wonderful, very intellectualized program where interviews with some of the top scholars in their respective fields come and discuss these focused topics. So in the case of Hannah Arendt, you would find out that she was, of course, Jewish, a refugee, and came to the United States fleeing persecution. Hope that sounds familiar. And then went on to become a brilliant articulator on the nature of evil, which is a topic I've always I won't say I wrestled with it, but I've certainly given it thought. It's really persisted because I've heard so many people just throw away this term, this, that, or the other is evil, without then providing any elaboration or going any deeper into its nature. It's a little bit like where people will often dismiss another as crazy and then not have to think about it anymore. So when we use the term evil, I think it's important, particularly in this age, and I won't be shy about connecting this with the Trump administration and with his enablers, as well as Trump himself, as a very model of the banality of evil. In the discussion that I've just recently heard, actually reheard, it's on a summer rerun. You can also find it in the archives section of BBC4 In Our Time. Highly recommend it. If you're really serious about understanding the nature of evil, it's a good place to start. But to finish the thought, one of the discussants made a very good point about the fact that evil, human evil, is closely associated with literal thoughtlessness. People who are bureaucrats, in the case of Adolf Eichmann, which is the model for her writing on this idea, and where she associated the banality of evil with the fact that this was a bureaucrat who participated in the murder of millions of Jews and others. And during his trial, it became very clear that he was literally a thoughtless person. He simply didn't go very deep. And such as it is with evil, people who don't go very deep will often end up thoughtlessly becoming evil. To me, this also connects with psychopathy, in that psychopathy is a lack of empathy. At least that's one of its central elements. So think about this. Think about evil as literal thoughtlessness. Again, one of the discussants talked about how it is likened to a fungus or yeast, in that it invades the body, it invades the mind, but it has no roots. It doesn't go very deep. And then people proceed to do horrible things, and while all the while considering themselves quite normal. It can happen to anybody. It's particularly happening in the Trump administration, and I leave it to you to make those connections. I think it's pretty clear cut, but I know that those with imagination will find their own ways to connect those dots. Thank you very much.